How to start a successful poultry farm. Hello guys, I'm Jacob, a poultry farmer currently doing layers, and right now we have given them their second feeds of the day, and you can see how they are scrambling for the feeds. You see, they are having their afternoon meal, and probably after this meal they are not going to take any meal no more. This is for today, and right now we are on 38 grams per bird, meaning that for 1,000 birds in here, we are feeding them 38 kilograms of feeds every day. It's quite a lot, you know. And next week, like in the next couple of days, we are going to be entering the 6th week of us keeping our birds in here. And that is it. So how can you start a successful poultry farm? Number one is that if you do want your poultry farm to succeed, the first thing that you should do is that you should look for a good location where you're going to situate your poultry farm. There are very many kinds of locations, like very many places where we can put our poultry farms in, but if you do want your poultry farm to succeed, the location really matters a lot. How are you going to construct your poultry farm? Like the location, where exactly? In most cases, poultry farming doesn't like a location which is like a town-like settings, you know, much as there are poultry farms which are in towns, but of course you would find that these poultry farms have fence around them, which other people cannot have easy access to the farms. But if your land, like you're in a location whereby it is a little bit populated and then you don't have any fence, then don't start a poultry farm over there, because it will be a little bit hard for you to raise the birds. As in, like, people can come in and out of the farm anytime they wish to. So that's number one. Two is the breed of the birds. There are very many breeds of the birds, like the poultry breeds. We have the layers, the broilers, the local chickens that I once kept in here, the improved birds, like very many. So what kind of breed do you want to start with? Is it the layers, the broilers? Which one? So if you have now figured out which breed of birds you want to start with, like layers, they actually give a lot of money, but it really takes a lot of time. Like you can spend 4 to 5 months injecting money in the bird without seeing any profits out of the birds. So, but the moment they start to lay, they would give you money every day. Like for 2 years, you would be getting money out of the birds. So that's number one. And then two, if you choose broilers, that's also good, because within a short period of time, you have your money in. So the breed of the birds that you choose matters a lot. Number three, which I think has affected very many poultry farmers, is the poultry feeds. Like, where are you going to get your poultry feeds from? Currently, like when I started this poultry farm, this drink has fell down if I try to put it back. So when I started this poultry farm, I was buying maize at 1,000, a kilo at 1,000. But right now, a kilo is at 500 Uganda shillings. That is when I'm buying, like I personally am involved in the buying of the maize. It is at 500 Uganda shillings. So you can see that it is less by a half, like less by the initial price that we started with in here. So if you use this time very well, you can stock maize on your poultry farm, which is going to actually take you some months, and then that way you are going to be saving a lot. If let's say somebody is going to spend 1 million on maize, which is going to take him, let's say, 2 months, then you would be spending only 500 Uganda shillings. So where you're going to source your maize from matters a lot. Why maize? First of all, maize is one ingredient which is normally used on a higher percentage while mixing the poultry feeds. You guys can take a look at the birds eating. Others are now satisfied, they are resting, like that one over there, having fun. So maize, like I was saying, is one ingredient which is needed in higher percentage, like in quantities, while mixing the poultry feeds. So that's why we actually fight so hard to actually reduce the cost of the maize while we are buying. Normally, like in sometimes, maize can shoot up to 1,500. Like recently, during July, August, maize was at 2,000 in here. So if you use this time correctly and then stock up your maize, that way it would help you in the hard times, you know. Like let's say you use this time over here and then stock maize at 500. So by the time it reaches 2,000, you would be safe. You would have saved 1,500 per kilo. And if you do that, you are not going to fail in poultry keeping. There are other ingredients like the maize bran, the limestone, which normally the prices don't like to fluctuate. If they fluctuate, then it is a little bit, just like let's say 100 or 200 shillings in the difference. And then the concentrate, of course, which is rigid, you know, like for the past 2-3 years, the price of the concentrate is the same as the one which is right now. So with the concentrates, we are not so bothered about the fluctuation of the prices. So that's another thing which, if you do the right way, you are going to succeed in poultry farming. Another thing which most people don't take seriously is the record keeping. You know, most of our poultry farms ignore the record keeping most of the times. We see record keeping as something which is of no use. Like for instance, when you do want to start something, like I recently built this poultry house. I know how much it costed me to build the whole of this poultry house, like all of it. And then I brought in the birds. I know how much it costed me to buy a bird. I started with the feeds, the drinkers, everything must be recorded. And at the end of the day, you will be sure how much money you have invested in the business. That way, it is easy for you to calculate the profits that you have made out of the business or the loss. Poultry farming is a good business, really good business. But if you have done it the correct way, there are some other people doing poultry farming, but they are literally getting nothing out of it. They don't get anything out of it. It depends on the location of your poultry farm. There are some areas whereby the raw materials that they use to make the feeds alone is very, very expensive. You know, you'll find that it is so expensive that even if you give it to your birds, at the end of the day, the amount of the feeds that the birds consume every day is, let's say, equivalent or less than the amount of the money that you spend on the feeds. So that way, you'll find that poultry farming is not a good business, you know. So that one also helps us based on the record keeping that we do have. I think with those tips, you can be sure of the poultry farming business. In fact, there are very many things that we have to cover in here. Very many topics. So if you're interested in doing poultry farming someday, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you find a word or two being helpful to you in this video, then don't forget to give this video a like. And of course, turn on your bell notification. That way you'll be notified immediately I drop any kind of video on the channel. See you.